Hey everybody, it's Jang here from ultimaterc.com. I just wanted to kind of close the loop on the Redcat Racing Sandstorm that I have tested. I've got 2 videos up that are fully narrated that go through kind of the early process of reviewing this thing and show how it drives in under a couple of different configurations. Overall, out of the box, driving the thing for the first time, stock with a stock battery, I was satisfied with it. You know, you really have to keep in mind with this. It's very important. Value is a big thing. This was for me $185, ready to run with a nickel metal hydride battery pack, and it's a 4-wheel drive vehicle with some roll cage kind of scale detail. There are a lot of 2-wheel drive vehicles with just a one-piece Lexan body, brushed also, that cost that same amount or even more. So value-wise, I kept that in mind when I was driving it for the first time, and I was actually pretty satisfied with the speed. It's not that great. It is brushed and all, but for somebody who is really either new to the hobby or who just wants something that has this kind of styling to it, and they don't want to spend a lot of money to get a more expensive vehicle, to me, it was okay. What was not okay was just the suspension action. The damping action was terrible. There was almost none with the stock setup. Now the normal thing, and I know I'm a real broken record when it comes to this, but the normal thing in the community is to say if your shocks are weak from a lower end kind of RC company, you've got to replace the shocks because low end RC company shocks suck. You got to get big bores, you got to get aluminum, you got to get this, you got to get that. You don't. All I did was put in thicker oil, and now it's just fine. I'm perfectly happy with it. I had to put in a lot thicker oil. I had to use some diff oil in order to deal with the really strange design of pistons here. They have the holes, actually slots on the sides that are way too large. But yeah, ended up getting just fine damping action out of it. And then it was able to jump just fine. These tires don't have great traction, but given that it's a 4-wheel drive vehicle and doesn't weigh too much, they're actually okay. I find them to be satisfactory for the vehicle as it is. Only real thing that I wanted more of with the Sandstorm right from the start was speed. A little more speed would have been nice. And to that end, I put in a LiPo battery pack because the stock battery is a 1800 milliamp hour nickel metal hydride, really low and really weak. So I put in a 2-year-old, get this, 2-year-old 3300 milliamp hour no-name Nitro RCX LiPo pack, 2-cell, a no-name pack, literally no brand on it, just says 3300 milliamp hour 2S, that's all. Old, low voltage, low power, something really, really basic. I've never had, at least not as long as I can remember, for years now, since LiPos have been on the market, I have not had an RC, brushed RC, that was not able to accommodate a basic low-end 2-cell LiPo pack. You do have to worry about LiPo low voltage cutoff, but that's to protect your battery, not to protect the car. So I ran it and I got the speed that I was really looking for. Then I was really, truly happy with this thing for the price, because that was a really cheap battery that I put in there. And that's a good thing. You know, LiPo is the thing nowadays, and I kind of expect to be able to use that. Well, as it turns out, I went a few minutes and the ESC burnt to a crisp. Just plain regular driving. Now here's the thing. Here's the manual. This is a generic manual for an entire series of vehicles, and this Redcat logo here is just a sticker. It says right there on page 6 in the manual, in this fairly small print, ESC on this model is designed to operate with an 1800 milliamp hour 6-cell nickel metal hydride battery pack to 3600 milliamp hour, nothing more. So I was operating this thing outside of its designed limits. However, I have to say, had I known that limitation was there, I would not have purchased this vehicle in the first place. I simply would not have bought it. I wouldn't want to have that limitation. I knew that I would not have been happy with the thing. There was no indication anywhere on the site where I bought this or on Redcat Racing's website that was a limitation. However, I was aware of that limitation because I did thumb through the manual before I went and drove it. I'm still disappointed though. You know why? Everybody should be able to run a basic LiPo pack nowadays. Too many people have them. I feel like it's not excusable. The one that I used gives out voltage under a mild load that's less than that of a 7-cell nickel metal hydride battery pack. A 7-cell nickel metal hydride, equivalent of that and less, because the LiPo battery pack was lighter, burnt this thing out. So that means that with a 6-cell nickel metal hydride, it's already being operated close to its limit. They say don't put anything over a 3600, so that means to me that if I put in a good, strong 4000 milliamp hour plus nickel metal hydride battery pack, nickel metal hydride, 6-cell, this thing is at risk of burning up. To me, that is unacceptable. I refuse to accept that. I know that I ran this thing outside of its specifications. I'm sure that a lot of people would not notice this before doing that, but you know, trying to be as nice and as fair to it as I can, I still am not happy with the end result. This thing can only be run on low-end 6-cell nickel metal hydrides, and that's just weak. The vehicle on the whole, I think, was okay. I think it was off to a great start, but the ESC having that limitation is really weak. And you know, getting something this cheap, you don't want to have to change stuff. You don't want to expect to have to change stuff. The overall design of it was pretty good. The overall performance of it was pretty good. The motor is actually okay, and even driving with that LiPo pack, the motor temperature was still within a reasonable range. But the ESC, no. And who wants to have to buy a brushed ESC to run a low-end, entry-level Redcat buggy? I don't think that you should have to. End result, I'm done with this thing. I'm not going to change out the ESC because, you know, for me, I've learned all that I need to learn about the vehicle. I think it was a nice try, but it was completely crippled by that one piece of electronics. That's it. That's it for my thoughts. That's all I have to say about it. Nice try, but no cigar. And just one thing shy. If the ESC was able to handle a 7-cell nickel metal hydride, then this would be a completely different story. But as it is, having to spend more money puts it into the range of vehicles that would have better aftermarket support, better electronics to begin with, so many more possibilities. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. See the driving video, raw driving videos, what 2 of them I did, if you want to see how this thing performed. If you have a chance to get a used one or something, or you know, if you just have the money to spare and you really like the look of this thing and you just want to give it a shot, then you know, go ahead and check it out, see what it looks like driving. You know, it still might be a decent option for some folks who know its limitations. So thanks for watching one last time, and I'll see you in the next video.